Get started here just in a minute. QQQ, we'll go over some COP. I'm also going to go over shop. What else did we trade? SPX. Keeping it pretty light today. That's good. That's good. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. We're trying to keep it as focused as we can to keep you from over trading in this market. And we came out with some, plans over the weekend. It's really interesting. We saw a lot of different traders come out with all kinds of different rules, right? But I think that a lot of traders are in line with each other and feel good about kind of a new beginning or a new start to this year into this quarter. And yeah, so we'll talk about that here in a minute. Talk about kind of my routine, what I'm doing as well to kind of help me stay focused and hopefully keep me focused, because we all tend to go a little off track sometimes, right? The point is not to beat yourself up when you do, that you recognize that you just need to kind of tweak a little bit to get back on track, right? All right, so we'll just give it a few minutes and then we'll have this out for you. Also, probably hit a recording, go over that as well. So we'll start with the ES futures quick. Just kind of talk about what's happened so far. So we'll go with a bigger chart to start. Matter of fact, I'm going to run through a quarterly with you so that you guys can kind of understand what's actually going on in the market. This is where the big money is paying attention. At least I think so. And so we'll go ahead and go over that. All right. All right, so ES futures, I'm going to run with you in a high time frame to make sure that everybody can see this and understand this is why you're having a hard time, if somebody's having a hard time out there, is because the overall market is making lower highs. We had that flush low last quarter. We got close to the EMA cloud, but we didn't quite come in and touch that cloud. And honestly, after we extended over the cloud, you want to look for a pullback to kind of get back in and find that groove from the cloud. Notice that when we come into the cloud on a quarterly, every once in a while we'll have a dip there, 2020 COVID or whatever. But you can see we're supported here. The long prognosis of this trade works out really, really well to the upside. All right. And notice right here, we didn't quite make it, did we? All right. But the clue here for anybody that pays attention to candle structure, we went inside, and as long as the candle is staying below there, you want to be cautious because the overall sentiment is sideways to down. Okay? Sideways to down. All right, so that is the quarterly look. This is the EMA. We got a little extended off of that. This is what tells me, hey, every week I come in, I need to understand that maybe moves to the upside are not going to be as good as they used to be. We can still make money. We made money today to the upside and two names and only two trades did we take, right, outside of futures. So just other trades, and I'll talk about those here shortly. But this is your quarterly look. This is your monthly look. Let's go ahead and take a look once we load up here. There's your monthly. And what do you notice right away? Well, you're making lower highs and higher lows. That equals a sideways trend. All right? It's a sideways trend. That's really all it comes down to. But the other thing is that on a monthly basis, you're inside the cloud. Anytime we're inside the cloud, we have to be cautious. We need bulls to actually push price over the cloud and maintain that. All right. So right now, things don't look so great as we sit inside the cloud. Doesn't mean that I'm full blown bearish. It just means, again, moves to the upside are not very long. All right. Let's go ahead and work down to a weekly. Why are these all important? Because this is how you have to plan your week before you get started. If you don't have a plan and you come in here and you're trying to buy the top today, those chaotic candles, and you weren't listening in, and you don't have a good mentor or a good coach, that probably led you right into a fire, unfortunately. So what do you see here? Well, I have a video here on my YouTube channel that actually really helps you understand that the topping wick is the first thing to pump those brakes. All right, pump those brakes. All right, if you draw a line across these topping wicks, you'll see that price does not like to move over, and it cannot hold over. Another segment that I do is called commit to the candle. So in this case, you have to commit to the weekly candle. The weekly could not hold over this pivot, therefore it is still sideways to down. Okay. All right, so the next thing is, guess what? The monthly was inside the cloud, but the weekly is underneath the cloud. That's not bullish, folks. It's actually, you can have a little bit of fun with it like we did today, but as long as it's staying underneath this cloud, be cautious. Let's go ahead and go into the daily. Let's see what happens today, or see what happened today. And this might be the first time that TradingView is kind of working slow for me. What can we do with this? If you guys like shapes, you could do something like this. Throw that on there. You could throw your channel. We have our blueprint right here. Anyways, we're just kind of in this channel moving, on our way down. Now, we came into the expected range last night. We talked about that. It was an awesome trade. It gave you 20 to 26 points to the upside. And then today, I went ahead and drew out a level for you to get long on a reclaim. Did any of you forget about that level? I bet some of you did, right? I bet some of you did. But if you're focused and you're listening to me, then you'll remember these levels, right? Because I share them with you. So we went ahead and on a smaller time frame, we identified, and just so we can go over this, we sold our SPX calls up here, literally at the top, right? We sold them at the top. Like literally right at the top, guys. And some of you great traders in the room went short after this, and you're doing really well on the downside. And you were asking me where that support is. So Mike, this is the entry on reclaim that I drew earlier today. All right. So price pulled back. It came right into our previous stop, okay, from one of our buy signals earlier this morning. And notice how that actually was a great stop, right? That's what stops are supposed to do. So here at Trendy, I use them to either add to a position or I wait for that reclaim to take that trade off of there, because a good stop is located around demand. And you don't want to be stopped out, all right, and then price reverse on you. This is exactly what happens, all right? So on the reclaim, you're looking to take this trade. Notice that on the reclaim, it's starting to work already for about 5 points to the upside. Now you have to figure out where is the range for the rest of the day. I've already given you the green box, okay? And it may not work perfect, but that's why it says entry on reclaim. We're not just blindly taking a box, okay? Some of you will, though, blindly take the box, and some of you won't. Notice right here when we first touched it, you did very, very well to the upside. Matter of fact, the box worked perfectly on the first time from 70 into 80, 10 points or $500 per contract on the ES. Not bad. All right. All right. So what now? We're pushing up into the cloud. Cloud has resistance until proven otherwise. We have to figure out where our next box is. Like, where is the range for today? All right. So I need to look up and to the left. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do is use this PMZ, or the pre-market zone, in this area. And let me go ahead and I'm going to turn off some of this, just like that. And we are going to create a box. Now this is the time, I just got out the Peloton. All right, this is the time for me that I prefer, at 10:30 European close Central Time here. I'm like, I'm out of trading, I'm working out, I'm getting my workout on, and that's it, right? And most things don't happen good during that time. They just don't. So we want to take our money and run in many cases. All right. So this is your red box for right now. All right. And the idea here is, and if you want, you can create this green box and go ahead and use my stop down here. All right. Just like that. This is your range. This is our range for right now. What I can see is pushing up into or close to this target. People are leaving on their boats already, right? After the European close, the neighborhood, everybody's jumping on the water now. But anyways, this is resistance for right now. All right. So we're going to turn this target into resistance. Let's go ahead and template that really quick here. Boom. Okay, and if bulls can build value over here, I would expect to close the day at around 43.90. If we break down below the stop, again, I talked about this last night. This is if this, then that. This is considered diddling in the middle. Don't diddle in the middle. Okay, this is a zone where you can look to go short. This is a zone where you can look to go long. If we break underneath the long zone, look for the move down into 43.56. If we could break over resistance and the cloud, look for a move into 43.85 by 43.91. That is ES futures. All right. All right, let's go ahead and go over to SPY. It's going to basically look the same. Matter of fact, we really don't need to go over SPY. We didn't look at SPY this morning. We just traded SPX. If you watched the video over the weekend, you know that 618 of the rally is the most important number for me. Personally, I would love to come down to this number before close and then buy for a possible gap up tomorrow. All right, that's just what I want. Doesn't mean we're going to get it. All right, that's SPY. Let's go ahead and look at the Nasdaq. And for anybody that does not trade futures, that's okay. It's the same thing as the Qs. Okay, same thing, just 42 points per dollar. Not a big deal. It still use the same blueprint, and we have blueprints for the Qs and the SPYs today as well, right here. All right, this was our blueprint. You can see we could not break over the neutral, so we didn't take that trade. We talked about this, and over here on the Qs, we could not break over the neutral. No reason to take that trade. But notice taking the trade at the lower levels, like we talked about in the video, actually worked out well. All right. All right, so here's the Nasdaq. Came down into the target. I showed you guys that this morning. Price pushed up into the target, almost got to target 2. Still, I don't think it's going to be easy. It's basically trying to base out here or create a base at our target. And so by the end of the day, if we hold this, that's actually a good look. I'll be looking for a red to green trade tomorrow in the Nasdaq. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for. I feel like the divergence between the cloud and current price, we're getting there. We're creating a nice playing field. You guys know what the playing field looks like? Basically, it's at the price, right, down here. And so if you're into baseball, you know, I'm not really good at drawing, but this would be sort of like this, right? And it, you know, this is what the field looks like, right? There's first base over here, right? Second, third, home run, baby. So if we can push up to second base, it would be up towards the cloud here. But this is the playing field that we're drawing or creating right now on the Nasdaq. All right. Let's go over a couple of our trades that we took this morning. Pretty straightforward, but I do want to talk about them because I think they're great for learning experience. It was very difficult on the open, right? We had to sit here and be super patient and stay away from trying to take the opening range because, I mean, it was hard. You know, price just kind of gapped up and kept moving. Basically, all I did was wait for the pullback. Okay, we waited for the pullback, which is right around this area in here. And I bought SPX calls for the upside. And then I literally trimmed right at the top. And the reason why I trimmed at the top, for anybody that might be interested, would be one, because of the cloud. We couldn't get over it. But if you look left and you draw a line over these topping wicks, that was an area to get out of the trade. Okay, so if this, then that. All right, I want to get out, but if it could break over and hold, then sure, we could take the trade to the upside. Notice right now we have the PM, or that is not the PMZ, that's a box that I drew. But for the SPX, this is going to continue to be resistance until it's not. Just like the SPY or anything that you're watching, price needs to build and create value over the cloud. I'd be watching the 5-minute. It's too choppy. If you're looking at a 4-hour or something like that, I just think you're going to be disappointed. You need to be able to react a little bit more quickly right now. Yeah, so that's that. All right, so we made 60% there on SPX, and then we came over and traded COP. This one I could have made a lot more money on because I was trying to get fill. I was being greedy, so I was waiting for the pullback. All right, and I had it loaded for like 65 cents, and I kept changing it. I was like, well, I want it cheaper, you know. I'm going to change it to 58, and then it wouldn't get to 58. And then I'm like, well, my zones are working. So you could see here my automated zone. My automated zone was working, and then all of a sudden the spread was wide, and I was trying to catch it. So I ended up coming in a little bit late. But you could see the trade worked out really well. We still have traders in it. It's doing very well. I went ahead and closed. So far I have 2 trades today, 60% and close to 30%, and I'm happy. You know, now my idea for my rules, I'll kind of just go over that with you guys really quick, just so that maybe it could help you. You know, I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. We'll see. Mine may be a little bit different than yours. All right. So give me 1 second here. All right, so basically, I'm going to read this really fast. Same dollar allocation, no matter what. And the reason why I say that is because the market doesn't care about your grading system. It doesn't care if you have an A+ setup or a B- setup or a D setup. None of that matters. And basically what ends up happening, because I've learned this and it's taken me a long time to understand, is that, again, the market doesn't care. So what happens is most traders, they grade their system and they're like, man, I really feel good about this. I'm going to put, $2,000 into this, and boom, 50% down. Oh man, that hurt, right? And then they're like, well, I'm going to take this little speculation trade here. It's building above the box. And I think it could go to highs. I don't know. So I'm going to put $200 in it. 200% later, you're thinking, why didn't I put the $2,000 into that? So I'm just, over the years, many, many years, it gets old, so keep the allocation the same. All right. That's it. Plain and simple. All right, so the next one, my stops are based on risk tolerance. I like to stick to about 30% if possible on my stops, and I say if possible, okay? There's a big line there, and basically what I'm saying is it's hard. If you get into a trade and it's a swing trade and it's still above a cloud, it's still above a pivot, it's still making higher lows and higher highs, but it's still taking its time, you could still lose value in the option. That's called theta. All right. But the stock setup still looks good. So it's very difficult. You're like, do I really want to get out at 30%? I mean, it's actually went up $1 since I bought it. Those are the kind of things that you are going to have to really struggle through and figure out if that's going to work for you. Again, to reiterate, I just really want to see, and I would like to stick to a 30%, but there may be cases where it just depends on the time frame and the setup. Okay. All right. So take profits at edges, targets, and clouds. So I'm using my own scripts to take trades. I'm not using anything else. No unusual option activity. None of these furus that are out here on Twitter talking about if price goes over this, buy this, and if it goes under this, then buy that. And if you look really closely, they don't really have any good levels. So stay away from furus that don't literally have a proven process. Try to stick to your levels that you manually find on the charts. Okay. So for me, don't take the trade unless it hits one of my levels. Example, in this case right here on COP, take the trade when it comes into the trendy PMZ, not, just at some, not here, not here, not there. It has to come into a level either here or down here at the line in the sand and so forth. Okay. So only take a trade if it sets up at my levels. All right. So on the flip side of that, how can you hold on to, right? This is a rule. Try to stay in the trade as long as possible. Now, what does that mean? Well, we like to use the cloud, and basically, if you're taking a trending trade and it's actually trending for you, you can basically go up in time frame, especially if you want to trend on the day, say like a 30-minute. And you might say to yourself, I want to stay in COP as long as, this is just a hypothetical rule, as long as price can stay above the cloud. What does stay mean, right? For me, it means as long as the candles are closing above the cloud, I want to stay in the trade. All right. So there's a rule right there. Try to stay in as long as you can. All right. Small accounts, 25 to 35 deltas. Large accounts, 40 to 60 deltas. If you don't know what that means, you shouldn't be trading options. Execution based solely on scripts. Again, I just went over that. I want to maintain a 60% win ratio. I got that from my buddy. I think it's a great idea. So basically, I'm coming in with up to 3 trades a day. As soon as I drop below 60%, then I'm done for the day, regardless. All right. Next one, 2 consecutive wins, then I'm finished for the day. Guess what, guys? I already have 2 consecutive wins, and I'm finished for the day. But that doesn't mean I'm finished. I'm here for you. If you guys need anything far as like a trade setup, a trade plan, you already know I got tons of different auto alerts that come through here. So if you're a futures trader, then you got all that on the side. We just have members ask me about support and resistance on ES. I'm here working for you. That's my job. And so let's continue, right? Let's continue. Now, there will be, depending on the weather, all right? Depending on the weather. If the weather's beautiful and I got 2 trades out of the way, then I will be on the beach, all right? Or I'll be on a boat, or I'll be on a jet ski, or I'll be out in the water taking, hanging out with the dolphins. Like, seriously, there's tons of them around here. So I'd love to do that and get away and just basically zen out for a little bit and or exercise. All right. All right. The next thing is going to be if I have multiple contracts and I'm over 100%, I will carry some overnight. For right now, in these conditions, all trades are considered intraday unless I say they are a swing. Okay. All right, so I prefer, this is the last note, I prefer taking trades earlier than later, and I will exercise every day at 10:30 on the Peloton. If you guys want to join me there, my name is Trendy John, TR3NDYJON. Join me there. If you don't have a Peloton, I don't know, do some push-ups and jumping jacks and jump rope and those type of things, okay? But 10:30 here, Central Time, is European close. For me, I don't like to trade after that time. Doesn't mean I won't take a trade. It's just that most of your money can actually be made early in the morning, coming into the morning with a swing and selling, right? And then after that, it just gets a little choppy. It's a good time to wait. That's what the beach trade is all about. For example, in this trade on COP, what are you doing? Right? You're taking the trade. If you don't get stopped out, you try to stay in as long as you can. And when you hit targets, you can trim, which I think some of you guys have already done so. All right. Speaking of COP, it's just channeling here. And if you look to the left, it is making a new pivot high and still looks like it wants to run up towards that 105 and 107 target that we have. Okay. All right. So other than that, guys, I think, SHOP, let's go ahead and cover that really quick. I think this one's important. My target, and we'll go over Microsoft actually now that I'm thinking about it. So for me, I would love to see SHOP come down into the 543 area. All right, we're getting a little buy signal here on SPY. But anyways, that's just off a 5-minute there. This is getting close. It got very close down here. So I'd like to see it at 544. If we could gap down into there, I'll definitely be interested in buying some debit spreads. Or selling some put credit spreads down here. All right, that's SHOP. And let's look at Microsoft. So again, at levels, guys, I can't make this stuff up. All right, this is the level that I gave you out on Twitter last week. And I'm pretty sure people thought, yeah, okay, whatever. and here we are. All right, you can't see that we actually got in here because we got in there pre-market. And if you were paying attention to the blueprint, then you know that we reclaimed this area. I really like Microsoft for a bounce into their earnings. Okay, they've been just hammered. Doesn't mean that they're going to beat on earnings, but for right now, they came into a zone, buyers stepped up, and that's all we know. Right now, price did move into the cloud and pull back, and that just goes to show you once again that the cloud is resistance until proven otherwise. All right, so your risk to reward, if you were opening up in the cloud and you were taking the trade there, you did it wrong. Okay, if you took equity pre-market and you were able to take a trade from the level I gave you, you were doing it right and trimming and closing into the cloud. Now we're just basing out, and that's what the market's doing, is trying to figure out, hey guys, do we really want to create a base here, or do I need to dig deeper to find more buyers? All right, so that's what's going on right now, and it's not a good time to try to overtrade. We hit our trades, we made money. You're good. You're good. All right. So you guys have a good one. Don't forget to check us out at trendytrading.co. If you have any questions, please reach out. We'll see you guys soon. And if you have any questions, please ask me. I'm going to be hanging out here.